My wee heart's going like the clappers.
It's Rangers Radio. Hello, this is the phone-in show. We're on the air at 9 o'clock on every weekday night, taking calls from the bands. Hello, it's Rangers Radio. Hello, this is the phone-in show. We're on the air at 9 o'clock on every weekday night, taking calls about the Jazz.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxford, on the panel of two Drumchapel's finest. Big Stevie for the drum and Bridgeman. You had to move for Drumchapel because he get up. That's a long story. Carry on, Bridge.
What can I say? Can I say a big good evening to you two guys? Huge good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
How we doing, big man?
Good evening, lads. Good evening, Ox. Good evening, Bridgeman. And good evening to all the listeners. Yes, indeed it is Rangers Radio.
Indeed it is, pal. Indeed it is.
It's a long time since I've been flanked either side with two guys for St. Pius, but there you go.
St. Pius. Yeah, right. St. Pius. What a shocker.
Don't take the bait, Bridgeman. Don't take the bait. I came from one of the finest schools, Waverley.
Oof. Oh, that was nearly approved, wasn't it?
Well, I'll tell you, don't get me wrong, it was a bit of a Boston, but Waverley's one of the better ones, just to be honest.
Anyway, yeah, some great news today, Big Stevie. Yeah, what about that announcement for the chief executive about the season tickets, mate? You know, I know you're new to supporting the Rangers with the season tickets. I'm having a wee bit here.
He's a cheeky devil, isn't he?
But fantastic, 46,500 sold out. Pandemic, we can't get to see the football. What a message that must send out to the rest of Scottish football. Who's doing the noise in the background?
Was it a full statement from Rangers, or was it just...
No, it was just come out today. What about that, Stevie?
Unbelievable, Ox. I mean, listen, there's no support like it in the world. No ways are there support like it in the world. Even when we were put away back down to the bottom of Scottish football, it was sell out everywhere we went. We rejuvenated the whole of Scottish football. And as you said there, during the pandemic, we don't even know if we're getting into the game. We've sold 46,000 season tickets. It's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely. Makes you proud, doesn't it? Absolutely brilliant.
Here. What do you think?
Sorry.
What do you think?
I was just going to say, I think it's just outstanding that once again the Rangers fans have shown just what they're made of, and the club asked for everything, they've got it. Now it's up to the club to reciprocate and get a team good enough on the party to win 55, and we'll keep us all happy. That's for sure.
Yeah, the fans have definitely bought into the club and what's happening at the moment, Stevie. I mean, these are unique times, and I've got to be honest, mate. It's actually surprised me it's went so well. I mean, my year's season tickets, the merchandise, yeah, there's been hiccups. My understanding is it's about 0.05% of the garments have been faulty, which is okay for the people who don't get it right. I understand their anger. But when you look at it in the whole big picture, things are moving, big man, eh?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, let's be honest. Any new initiative or anything you're doing, you're going to have teething problems. you know, and they boys at Castor, I've no doubt in my mind, they're going to sit down and listen. They know where they've went wrong, and I think we'll correct it for next season. But as far as the whole bigger picture, the whole thing guarding the finances of our club, wow. The boy Buzzgrove is, no, he must be rubbing his hands, and the work that boy's put in the background, unbelievable. I mean, what we're talking, must be nearly 15,000 majors.
I think you're away out there, mate. It's over 25,000.
I know. I was being nice. And same with season tickets sold out. I mean, my wee boy's got 3 strips, training tops. No, he's just lucky, you know. But I mean, if each household buys a strip, much is that in revenue? I mean, dearie me. But unbelievable. The bigger picture and the outlook, you know, onwards and upwards for the teddy bears. Everything's looking good for the future.
Mm-hmm. And it's that backing, big man, it enables us to improve the team on the pitch. And do things to the stadium. It's all comes together as a package, mate. You can't do anything without money.
No. Well, look, I wouldn't like to think the board are up there sitting taking the fans for granted, right? I wouldn't think they would, but they know we're loyal, and it must breed confidence in them to know that they've got that animal behind them. I mean, the blue dollar, come on, man. It's absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely unbelievable. And as I said, I know that they wouldn't take us for granted. They would never say it like that, and we know they wouldn't, but just to know that they've got that kind of animal behind them, it's just unbelievable, man. Everything they do, we sell out. Everything they ask us, we buy. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. There's no other club like.
That's exactly a question I was going to ask there. Does anybody know of any other club that has got as good figures as we've got? I think it's amazing. It's just outstanding. Outstanding.
You've got to put it into context, Bridger. The size of our country, the size of our market, the coverage we get, TV wise compared to the EPL, mate. And if you took that and you done it like for like, we'd be light years ahead of some of the big boys in the EPL.
Yeah, indeed, pal, indeed. The loyalty of the Rangers fans is just. I mean, it's been incredible since 2012 when the big problem started, right through to now. It's just wonderful. The last 3 seasons has just been since Gerrard came, and you've seen things starting to improve, and then they continue to improve, and they've continued again. And every single time the fans are right behind them, and you get the press and some parts of the press anyway. I was always reading it on the follow how people, supposedly Rangers fans, don't want Steven Gerrard. I can't understand it.
Listen, just remember this bit of advice, and Stevie will tell you through personal experience. Some of the women on the internet are no women.
Well, what kind of experience did you have then, Stevie?
No. What you meant to say was Skipper. Yes, I can what you're getting at. Listen, can I ask you a wee question? I'm talking about finances there and how good the club's gone and how we sell out everything. We've got to be honest here, Stevie G, there's a lot of people took an interest in our club for further away places, sponsors and stuff, and I think he's a big part of bringing them. I think he's part of the pull big time. You know, I think his world brand name, I mean, let's be honest, Stevie Gerrard is a world brand name, and I think he brings a lot to our club. A lot that we probably don't really see as well, you know, or hear it. You know?
I think he's a big... If you accept that everybody's a part of the jigsaw, Stevie, yeah?
Oh, aye.
I think Stevie G's the 4 corners.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I mean? Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes sense, aye. Totally.
He's that important to the project.
Yep. Oh, aye.
You know?
Yep.
Huge for us.
Yep.
No matter which way we go, which way we think, Steven Gerrard is it, you know? Seriously. And I think it's sad that the way the press, the media in this country have literally ignored them. And I don't know why. Obviously, it's because it's with us, you know, in my opinion. But seriously,
The rest of the world hasn't ignored this bridge. That's
No.
That's
That's what,
that's what counts. And then obviously with the European run we've done, we've single-handedly took Scottish football to 2 Champions League places, Stevie.
aye, off 110%. Our 2 runs that we've had has put us right back on the map. It wasn't that long ago. I don't like talking about them, but a certain skipper of another team in the East End was saying that the Scottish teams need to do better in Europe. Look what happened to them, you know. But no, Stevie G's put us right in the map. As I said, no matter how you dress it up or dress it down, he is a world brand and he will attract things to our club, whether it's players, whether it's sponsors or whatever. 110%.
Amazing.
Bridgman, did you get your trophy this morning through the post for your victory last evening?
Oh no. I was so happy, and by the way, very proud to be able to put out a Rangers team that represents, in my opinion, what Scotland was as a footballing nation. I think modern day there's no real representation. Now I don't know, but I think I saw in Follow that our illustrious Scottish manager has picked 10 players for the team. He's stuck on one, and I don't think there's one Rangers player in it. There you go. That's sorry.
So we never got the goalkeeping slot, no?
I don't know. I just saw a wee snippet on. I think it was Follow was on.
Maybe because we've got the 2 to 3 goals there, Stevie, they might play without a goalkeeper.
Listen, see me on the national team now. It is hard for me because I'm a proud Scottish boy, right? But it is hard for me not to try and like the Scottish national team. But I chucked it the day they booed Rangers players. The day they booed our squad players, the Tartan Trannies booed our players, Rangers players.
Don't think you were alone, mate. Don't think you were alone, bro.
That was me talking. Absolutely total.
How's that worked for them? Mate? It's really been they've been really successful in selling out the grunts. Richman, what are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
There's been a lot of noise for you.
No, for me, buddy. Not for me. I'm sitting here as quiet as a church mouse.
I'll get Fox in to tell you after a minute.
It wasn't me either, Your Honour.
And it wasn't me, so somebody's
I'm sitting here as I am now. I haven't made a sound. I'm hanging on to every word.
Your mic's so sensitive on your iPad, mate. It catches up every movement. When you run your hand across that silky skin of yours, we hear it.
Silky skin, oh yeah. Love it. Love it, pal.
Stevie, but how successful has it been for them, this anti-Rangers rhetoric? Where's it got them? What's it achieved? Where's their sellout Saturdays? What's it got them? What's it done?
Nothing. Who's
filled grunts? Who's made it interesting? Who refinanced the lower groups in Scottish football? Who told them it was going to happen with the Sky deal, the BT deal? How many millions it was going to cost them last season because they were trying to shoehorn somebody into the Champions League? What club told them? Can you help me out?
No, I know. You don't need to. I mean, I think all the bells know. I mean, without the input of the Rangers team and the Rangers support in Scotland, they're nothing. We're seeing the stands, they're absolutely empty without the bells. Let's be honest. Absolute empty. You will get the odd Rangers fan that will stay loyal to the Scotland team. That's their politics there. But I don't know how they could. I could have stood next to somebody in Hampden. I'm being honest. If I was standing and the teams were getting read out and the guy kept buying Rangers players, I would have to leave or I would get carted out. Really would. And that's the whole truth. And that's how I just don't get near it. I've no love for them. And that's the bottom line. It's dead. For me, it's dead. And it's sad to say because I'm a proud Scottish boy with a heritage and background. My name comes to me, you know. But they've done it for most people. They're sickened us. Absolutely sickened us. But I'll tell you what, they're nothing without us, nothing without our players, nothing without the support that Rangers, the input, absolutely nothing without us. And we've seen it big time with the stands being empty and the players, they've done nothing, haven't they? They've
You can
done
coin
it.
a phrase there, mate. If you want to use this one, I'll let you use this. Yeah, you got a pen there?
Yep,
Yeah. Better together. You can use that.
better together. Okay.
You all right with that, Bridge?
Aye.
Right. Okay, so Stevie, what's on your mind, mate?
Well, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here or no, but I was listening to the show there the other night, and he's went through all the players that Stevie Gerrard had signed. Well, I'd like to get back a wee bit. What about Souness's signings? Because I'll tell you, there's some belters. I've been looking at a few of them there, and absolutely fantastic if you want to get through. And the reason I'm asking, do you not think Stevie G's rejuvenated us the way? I'm not saying I think Souness rejuvenated the whole of Scottish football. Wow, just boom, gave it a whole lift. But I think Stevie Gerrard's actually gave us a lift here as well, to be perfectly honest. And I'm just, some of the players, I mean, I think his first signing was Colin West.
Yep. All right. Okay. So if you look at the Gerrard signings, I'll take the Souness ones. And Bridgeman, you can look at Bill Struth's first signings.
Oh, Struth. Thank God I never get Bill Struth.
Bridge, we've got to get you back for last night because you won. He's on mute. He's on mute. Aye, well, what we'll do is I'll read.
So what's happened to that's Gerrard signings there, isn't it?
I'll read out the list of the Gerrard signings, yeah, that I posted the other night, yeah, and then we can look and start looking closely at the Souness era, yeah, and there's a lot of similarities, and get people's thoughts in the line. These are the Gerrard signings, the first 35 signings, yeah. McGregor, Firth, McLaughlin, Golson, Katic, Worrell, Macaulay, Hollander, Balogun, Edmondson, Barisic, Flanagan, Bassey, Polster, Arfield, Davis, Kamara, Koulibaly, Ajaria, King, Ojo, I forgot about King, Gresda, Hasty, Barker, Jones, Stewart, Kent, Aribo, Hadji, Lafferty, Sadiq, Defoe, Kimberry, Roof and Iton. Up to date 35 signings. It was a different world then, Big Stevie, yeah? Because you didn't have the transfer window, so you could wheel and deal all the time, yeah?
Aye, all year, aye.
Aye. So, who was Souness's first signing?
Colin West, £300,000. Could you believe that? £300,000. And then you've got Chris Woods, 650,000. Terry Butcher, 1.2 million.
Slow down. We've got 2 hours to kill here. Wait a minute. Right. You're saying £300,000 wasn't a lot, right?
Stevie.
I think at that time then, our record signing would have been, I'm trying to think, who would we have signed?
The records?
Aye.
Flo. Sorry, Andrew, Flo.
No, mate. We didn't sign him to, Advocat signed him in 2000. When Souness was there in 86, our record signing would have been who? Craig Patterson, maybe?
Oh, right, I see what you're meaning. I do apologise.
I'll have to check that out, mate. I'll check that out, Stevie. But what I'm saying, in context, that 300,000 was a reasonable sum. That would have been a big transfer at that time in Scotland.
Aye.
You know?
Well, if you get back to the days of season ticket money, what would the season ticket have been in days?
In 1986, we'd just done away with the Rover season tickets, Stevie. I don't know if you're old enough to remember them.
The Rover, the Premier, aye.
What's that?
Aye, the Rover, then it was the Premier one, wasn't it?
No, you had the Rover ticket where you could sit anywhere because there was that many empty seats, mate. And then for the Celtic game, you got a fixed ticket.
Aye.
And then in 86, the ticket started selling and the ground started selling. But I'm going to give you a wee stat here that might shock you. Yeah?
Yep.
What do you reckon the crowd was at Graham Souness's first home game?
Home game when he took it.
First league home game.
I'm going to go for 26,000.
I'll say 30.
I don't think he's that far away. I think it was Clydebank or Falkirk, but I'm just going to check it out. It was in between two defeats, yeah?
Aye.
And so it just shows you that the Bears were still a wee bit down. We finished, do you know where we finished in the league the year Soonest came in, Rich?
The year Soonest came in?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think we're 4th or 5th or something.
5th we'd finished, Stevie. Were you
Yeah.
aware of that?
5th?
5th. We finished 5th.
I was going to say 3rd. I didn't think we were that bad. 5th?
Well, we were very poor, very poor.
Dear, man.
You know, so it's amazing, really, isn't it? So he came in when we were 5th. The club wasn't in a great state. So there's a lot of similarities between Gerrard and Souness, mate, yeah?
Yep, the club was in the great hands when Gerrard took her, that's correct, aye.
Right. So his first signing was Colin West, second signing Chris Woods, who was an English, at the time, was an English number 1. Shilton was English number 1, he was a number 2, but what a big signing. We signed him for Norwich, 600,000. That was a record transfer for Scottish football at the time. So that's the equivalent, the snoo, of the Tory Andrew Flo deal. That would be a record. So that was big, big news when we signed Chris Woods.
Big starting lad. Was great goalie.
I was a good goalkeeper, no doubt about that. No doubt about it. So 650,000. My goodness. By the way, he's rewarded. He's paid us back time and time over, you know. Brilliantly.
You know, but it just shows you how things have changed. But we weren't in the best of places when Souness came in. Would you say with similarities, Stevie, when Stevie G came in?
Oh, 100%. The club was in a great state when Stevie G came in at all. You know, we were just getting away from all the, you know, it was more about what was happening after the park at the time and rather than what was on it, you know. We had no assets or anything, you know. So, aye, it's more or less the same, aye, you could say.
We were getting run by a guy called Lawrence Marlborough at the time. And he had brought that guy in from the chairman of, was he the chairman, was he? From
David
Falkirk.
David Holmes.
Right, he brought David Holmes in. Holmes was in for a season, I think. And it was him that overseen Graham Souness coming in. And I think it was Souness that then said to, because Marlborough's been fishing to try and get Rangers off his hands. And then Murray, asked him to talk to Murray. And they did it. And that was big changes in a 2-year period, big changes.
Right, the crowd at Souness's first home game, 13th of the 8th, 1986, 27,362.
Wow.
And we beat Falkirk 1-0 with an Ali McCoy's penalty kick.
We weren't a good team to watch now at that time. And for years before it, all the way up to that, we weren't a very good team to watch. That's for sure.
Oh, but Souness came in and added some steel.
Oh my goodness!
Half goalkeeper Stevie, yeah. So after Woods signed, who did we sign, mate? Who was the next group of players? Yeah,
Terry Butcher and Graham Roberts. Terry Butcher 1.2 million and Graham Roberts 600,000. Unbelievable. That's iron, isn't it? That's total iron.
Oh, they were big players at the time, mate.
Well, that's two parts of your iron defence, isn't it? Your goalkeeper and your two centre backs.
You know, and that's what he done. That's what he basically done. He improved that area, and our team improved. You know, so it just shows you. It just shows you there is similarities because Stevie G's tried hard, yeah. You know,
yep.
So there was these signings, and who else did they bring in, mate?
Jimmy Phillips and Neil Woods, David Kirkwood, Lindsay Hamilton, Avi Conn, Richard Goff. Now there's the name, Richard Goff, 1.5 million.
Well, that was back in Goff came in the start of 88, 89 season, mate. Yeah. So, you know, No, another 87, 88 he came to Spurs, mate. That was a British record, $1.5 million then, mate, when we signed Goff.
Yep, I'm just about to say
Rangers
yes.
were always breaking British records of purchasing players. Always.
Aye. What a signing Goff turned out to be, guys. What do you think Goff's value would be there? If that was 1.5 million then, what do you think it would be in today's terms?
Well, I've got a simple view on that, and I'll take that to Bridge, because obviously you put all your haddies at centre half, right? But and this will back me up. If Harry Maguire's went for £80 million, how much would Goff be worth today?
Well, you could ask the same question about if Harry Maguire's worth that, what would what should Terry Butcher should he be worth? And the same way, Richard Goff. You're talking mega bucks, just mega bucks.
They
were brilliant players, wonderful players in their own right, and in that correct position. Oh my God, they were great. They were just great.
Aye, fantastic time. It was insane for the fans. They 26,000 quite quickly. It came to the fact that there was that many season tickets, Stevie, and people were having to go and start queuing for tickets at 5 and 6 in the morning around the stadium. It was like the pandemic with the Castor deal when the shop opened. The queues were right around the stadium, people queuing up to buy tickets so they could watch the Rangers at the weekend. It was a mad period, Bridge, wasn't it?
It's absolutely stone mad. And if my memory serves me right, the first season, I think they were only allowed 35,000 tickets or something, like season tickets, or maybe 36. Something like that anyway.
We never sold many in the first season, mate. When Souness came in, we'd less than 10,000 season ticket holders, mate.
I'm just trying to think that you never really had season ticket holders then. You had the special card holders,
Aye. There was those and those of such that sat in the main stand, yeah.
That's right.
But
I mean, they converted everything, didn't they? They introduced the season ticket.
That's
and
right.
I think, but they didn't. I think at the old Ibrox Stadium, as it was, I think you could only get 36,000 season tickets anyway.
44,000 was the capacity, yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously the other end, they never done that. So you're right, that was a capacity, Stevie. But people had to queue up, and they were queuing up every week, start of the week, to buy the tickets for the next home game, try to get them for the away games. It was a special time, special atmosphere, and the Bears bought into it.
Yep.
We've been starved of success in the league for 9 years. Sound familiar?
Yep. Aye. I mean, I could tell you just here the drum shuttle bus, St Andrew's bus at that point in time. The guy that ran that, Big Arnold, he's the great ticket race, we called it. Every away game he had his, whether it was Dundee, up at Aberdeen, he had us up there queuing to get tickets, whether it was their end, our end, or whatever. We were everywhere, all over Scotland, queuing up for tickets at different places to get the bus tickets. It was mental, absolute meltdown, mental. It was brilliant. They were great times. The Kerry one get there. I remember we're up at Dundee, but we're told not to talk because people would hear your accent and know you were Rangers fans, though. So it was quite funny when you look back, But the great ticket race was on Ox, definitely.
Aye. So after Goff, who did we bring in? We brought in some bargains there.
One of my favourites, Ray Wilkins, 300,000. Unbelievable, And then it was John McGregor. Ian McCall, Mark Walters. What a player Mark Walters was, 750,000 was that. Mark Walters, I'll tell you, man, what would he be in their terms? The football that boy could play. Unbelievable. What a touch. I always remember the first game at Tynecastle. He brought the ball, it crossed out him, and he took it down. What a flick. He let it get through his legs, hit it with his heel and ran out. Oh, man. It was just something else at that time. It was stuff you'd never seen before, It was absolutely brilliant.
And just remember where he done it in front of. He done it in front of their shed harps. And let's be honest about it, the abuse that they gave him that day was similar to the treatment they got to the piggery, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was there. I hated Tynecastle. You could cast your mind back, the old Tynecastle. You had one exit in the middle of that run, and you used to get carried. I was a wee skinny snorting nose boy, and I used to get carried through with the crowd. I was off my feet. It used to frighten me trying to go out of there. But I always remember that. I was at that game, and they flung bananas on the park and everything at them, so they did. They gave them absolutely some stick.
Yep. Yeah. Some of them seem to be able to paint their history in a different light, didn't they? But aye, great player, Walters, great player, and he's been on the show. After him, who was it? Give us some more signings.
After that, Mark Falco, John Brown, era signing, £300,000, John Brown, and then you had Jan Battram, and then you had a real. This is what we're lacking now. Ian Ferguson, £1 million for St Mirren. I remember when we signed him for St Mirren. Aye, what a player he was. And then Trevor Francis, Kevin Drinko, Gary Stevens. Unbelievable. I mean, Gary Stevens, did he get any England caps, Gary Stevens?
Oh, loads, mate. Loads.
Aye.
Loads.
Quality player. Quality player.
And then
So if people want to join us, give our thoughts. We'll keep expanding on this. What's the number?
It's 0141 356 1972.
Where else can you join us, Bridge?
You can join us on Skype at RangersRadio.online, and Old School Blue or Fox, or both, will bring you in and show you the ropes. Enjoy yourself.
So if you phone up, hang up, and the technical team will call you right back. These are views. You can see what we're doing. We're going to compare the impact of Graham Souness to Scottish football with his signings. First 35, Stephen Gerrard so far has signed 35 players. But different times, different rules, Bridgeman, with the transfer window. You could wheel and deal, you can't really do that now.
Plus the fact, I must admit, different at this point in time, a different budget too, because Souness could just get out there, down to England and just buy. The English league was in kind of tatters with the sort of European problems that they had. So the bigger name players were desperate to get back into the, as they called it, European Cup. I think it was at that time. So,
do you think that's what the draw is, or do you think it was the fact that we were the highest payer in the UK?
Well, I think it was look. There's no doubt about it. We were one of the highest payers in the UK, but at that time, the players, anyone signing for an English club, particularly in the top of the English, not the first division as it was. So you couldn't offer European games, then you're not going to pay European money, European quality, So you're not going to earn the big money to pay them. So these things happened, and there was a big stramash about the players' wages and all the rest of it. And I think Rangers benefited out of it. Admittedly, Murray bankrolled them. And
no,
made
Murray
sure...
was there then. Murray was there.
No, Murray came in a year later.
Yeah.
But no, he was involved in it somewhere along the line,
1988, Murray get involved in this.
88, bud. Yeah. 2 years.
2 years, yeah. I've got some crap in my head. Carry on, Big Stevie. So who else did we sign?
After it's John Morrow. And then Bridgeman, get this. You get the next one. Bridgeman being a drum boy. Who was it, Bridge?
It was a good old Andy Gray.
That's correct, Bridge. Brilliant. Well done. 10 out of 10, mate. Then it was Neil Cooper, Kevin McDonald, Tom Cowan, Mel Sterland, Mo Johnson. Who's that? Bart? I can't even smell. My things are here.
Bonnie Ginsberg. You missed out Trevor.
You missed out to Oxtair's one of Oxtair's favourite players, Trevor Stephen.
Trevor Stephen, yes. Then it was David Dodds, Chris Vinicum, Nigel Spackman. Nigel, I remember his first game at Parkhead. Oh,
I met him about a year after he scored that goal. Yeah. And I said to him, "You scored that goal in your debut, and we thought we had a striker, a midfield player that was going to get his 50 this season. After you scored that goal, you were never in the opposition's box ever again." But what a player!
So true, isn't it? It's just so true.
He could play. He could play bridge, yeah.
He's a wonderful player. I think most of the guys they brought up from England, if they didn't hit the headlines, hit the heights within a very short space of time, Mr. Souness had them back out the door and got the money back for what he paid. I don't think he ever lost money on anyone. I think it was very, very good in the wheeling and dealing, you know.
Right, so after that, you got a couple there.
Matt Haley, yes, I've got maybe 5 there. Matt Haley,
two more, you've got 2 more.
Matt Haley, Peter Hustrat, and Terry Hullock. Can I tell you a wee snippet about Terry Hullock? Because I think he was a bit of an unsung hero when he was with the Bears.
I absolutely loved him.
The story goes that Derek Ferguson was playing with Hearts and they're in the tunnel at Tynecastle waiting to come out. And Terry Hullock was eyeing the Hearts players up and down. And he walked out to Gary Mackay and gave him a bit of paper. And Gary Mackay turned white. The Hearts player says to him, "What's up? I'm written all right." And he says, "Look at that." And Terry Hullock had given him the dinner menu for the Royal Infirmary in Edinburgh.
Hello.
Oh, we've been joined by a caller. I wonder who this could be.
Hello.
Evening, caller. How are we doing? Oh, he's
Hello.
gone. He'll be back. That's a great story, mate. Hullock was a character.
That was quite good, that.
I don't think he had the longevity. I think he was a character in the Rangers story. To call him a Rangers legend, I think it's maybe a wee bit too much, mate.
I absolutely loved him. I thought he was a fabulous player for us. He did the business. When he was on the park, he did the business. 9 times out of 10, he did what he wanted to do. And I was delighted. Really pleased.
All right, I think that caller's joined this evening, caller.
Hello, boys. It's Jim from downtown Drumchapel.
How are we doing, James? How is one?
God yourself, Jim.
You know, guys, that's a real good topic tonight about Souness's signings and Stevie G's signings. For me personally, Souness's signings, Ray Wilkins, £350,000. Is that right, guys? Absolutely. What a player. But his most controversial was Morris.
Definitely, without a doubt.
Because that set Semtex FC back for years. They didn't hear that. The guys from the Chamber of Secrets, they never heard that for years. It was a wee bit like the 2 each game when we had the other players sent off. It took them years to recuperate for that. Years. So that's all. I would go for Ray and Morris.
All right, okay. Definitely. But Jim, obviously, you're a wee bit younger than the rest is on the panel, right?
Thank you.
For myself, right?
I love it.
Would you say when Souness came in or Stevie G came in, whose is the biggest effect on the club and Scottish football?
Oh, it's Souness, without a shadow of doubt, in my opinion. I mean, Souness, Bridges right, by the way, the English players were in a 5-year ban at that time after the Heysel disaster. And that's why a lot of them came up. I mean, I always remember that Richard Gough getting interviewed and saying, "Why did you leave Tottenham Hotspur?" He said, "Because Rangers offered me 3 times the money." Right to the point. And that's true. Rangers could offer the money then. But Stevie G doesn't get the recognition. He definitely doesn't. Because we're quite parochial in Scotland. Any to do with Rangers, I mean, it's just, I think we're refereed, we're judged, everyone to a different standard. Look at, for example, the way the Daily Record going about Alfredo. Some of the comments of the boys bordering on racism, but that's just the way it is. As soon as when he talked about it, he would be throwing punches, I'm telling you, he would. As soon as when he talked about it, there was a very strong rumour about a month ago that Souness was coming back in some capacity, but I think it might have been this social media talk, though. But you never know. You never know.
You know, but if you were rating the Souness revolution, you've got to give Stevie G some credit, Jim. All right, we weren't in the best place when Souness came in as a team or as a club. We were underselling my brand. But the two of them have really improved the team for what they took over to where they are. The
Well,
big difference for me would be the silverware that Graham got.
Aye, true, because we waited 9 years and we won at Aberdeen. But what I will say about Stevie G, and I hate to agree with McPherson, he's right, he's a world brand. Can you imagine if we'd have got McInnes for Aberdeen and he phoned up Liverpool, said, any players for her? And as I said, who are you? Stevie G phones up, it's automatic recognition, you know what I mean? So that's definitely true as well. It definitely has helped. And all we need to do, guys, seriously, all we need to do is get that first trophy. See, once we break that barrier, that's it. There's no stopping us. Definitely no. After the 29th of December last year, I thought, this is it. We're going to do it. This is your year. And we fell apart at the seams, though. But he's definitely brought a professionalism in. He's look at the things he does off the park. New changing rooms, new dressing rooms, dietitians, medical. It's night and day.
And I remember a story about Souness when he came in, Stevie. That I don't know if it's true or no, but it's nothing controversial. But allegedly at the time, he made it compulsory for the players to wear flip flops going to the shower because their tools are work with their feet, and they were never looking after their feet.
I heard that as well, and just in case they picked up Varukers or anything like that.
Aye, Varukers, you know.
I heard that
You
as well.
You wouldn't know anything about that, Bridge, or they got athlete's foot. Used to, would they know anything about that? You and Stevie, you know what I mean?
Athlete's foot? That was a horrible disease. That was a Partick disease. You see, if you jumped on a number 9 bus, you always had to watch it. You didn't pick up any Varukers. And
I tell you what, there was a lot of diseases we actually caught in the number 9 bus, I'll tell you that.
I get athletes up to the 12th of July.
No, that's a good topic, by the way, guys. It's a great topic. And unfortunately, at my age, I remember Souness's signings. And I remember Stevie was only a boy. Well, I'll tell you how long ago it was. He had a perm, right? He had a perm and dandruff. And we went to Dunfermline one day. Must have been 20 handed and we paid in and we got a voucher. And the guy says, we say to the guy, going to open the door, and like, he's like, how? We said, we're going to Ibrox now because we were playing Dunfermline in the cup the following week, and you couldn't get in unless you had a voucher to buy a ticket. And that's what we used to do. He went to Dundee, and he's right, by the way. We couldn't talk. We went to this pub, and Big Arnold was getting tickets, and the guy said, don't talk. He said, kid, hear your Glasgow accent. Oh, happy days.
They were great.
And by the way, I used to have a Rover ticket and all.
Aye, me too, mate. Me too. It was how things have changed, but it was hard to believe that Souness's first home game, I mean, it's been sellout after sellout after sellout for Gerrard. There was only 27,000 there, Jim. Would you believe that?
I would have lost money in that one. I would have lost money in that. But this shows you if you give the guys the goods, they'll come out, you know. And your opening statement at the start of the programme, we're desperate to get their gear on, we're desperate to buy stuff for the club. And that's what we're looking for, is a fair crack at the whip, and we'll do it. In fact, I got an email tonight from Rangers asking if I wanted to participate in the Castro or Stores meeting next Wednesday. Right. They're asking, I don't know if I got picked or not, but I put my name in for it, just to get their views and so on and so forth. It'll be interesting. If I do get picked for it, I'll come on and let you know what's happening, boys.
All right, superb.
But, okay, guys.
All right,
Jim, before you go, Jim, can I ask you a question before you go? When we were all on the supporters bus for all these years, how was it you all pulled out number 9? The dominoes and sweep. How did you do it? Tell me how you do it. Tell me over there how you done it.
Well, what we done, this is how we done it, right? We used to have a double-decker, right? So me and Big Don ran the sweep. In the days, obviously, it was 1 to 11. So what we done in drum set, well, we took it number 9 and 10, Gately McCoy, guaranteed every week was going for, and we threw them at the bus window. But what we done is we had 2 plastic bags with a bag inside another bag. So whoever was picking it would open the bag and made them use. So we won the sweep every week.
Every week. Every week, the one.
To be fair,
And
you
then-
weren't dealing with the most intelligent Kingsbridge and Waverley, you know what I mean? So they would
And
know
we
it.
say, who won the sweep? And we say, oh, so-and-so up the stair. And next week we'd say, oh, that's so-and-so doing this.
Oh, mate.
I used to buy Steve a half bottle El Dorado with the money to keep him quiet.
A fine wine, a fine wine.
Brilliant, Jim.
Okay, boys. I'll catch you later. Take care, boys.
Take it
Right,
steady,
Jim.
brother.
Thanks.
Take care,
Brilliant.
boys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
Oh, the first time I've heard anybody in a double decker for Drum Chapels had to double bag it. There you go.
Oh my God. Hey, it's a family show.
Jim must
Aye.
have invented it. 2 bags, Bridge. Can't make it up, can you?
Oh man, every week they won the sweep. Every week him and Big one. Honestly. I couldn't get my heat how they'd done it.
We had a great boy who's been very busy with his personal life in the last few years. Mount Vernon used to come on and all he wanted to do was go and watch the Rangers every week, and the tickets for the away games were at a premium. And you know what it's like. You know what it's been like the last few years because the stadiums have all been cut, and we were trying to explain them. It wasn't new that you couldn't the supply couldn't match the demand. In that particular season, when Souness came in, it just went mental, mate. Mental.
Oh, honestly, it was just unbelievable. Everywhere you went, it was. See, I remember games that there was hundreds of bears locked out, away games. You were like, look the amount of bears that's not getting in here today, man. And they would have done anything to get in and see the Rangers. I mean, even the day we won the league, all the bears were in the Aberdeen end. Can you remember when Big Butcher Cedar? The Aberdeen end jumped. It was unbelievable, man. It was the great ticket race chase. It was absolutely mental. Absolutely hysteria. Brilliant. Great days, great times in the support. That's when the buses get the right amount of tickets to run a bus, you know. I mean, look at it now, as I said earlier. When Drum Charter selling a bus with party, there's no doubt there's other schemes doing that, you know.
You know,
Yeah,
Stevie, on that
yeah.
subject, the man that's running the Scottish international team at the moment, it's no even 18 months ago that he was standing waving and saying bye-bye Rangers at Take Home Marnock. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Animal. Sorry, pal, that's me. Get money my grapes out.
All right, I'm glad you got that off your chest. Right, but look, if people want to give us a call, give us their thoughts, because I don't think we can underestimate the job that Stevie G's done. I really don't. He just needs that rubbery blue to get us that first trophy, and 55's coming with it. So what's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Come and join us on Skype at RangersRadio.online. We brought in a Colby Cool Blue and Fox. They'll give you their thoughts. If you phone in, hang up, and the technical team will call you right back. Just to let you know, I've had lots of messages from Stardog. He still can't believe it. Russell Lafferty never get in the world team. He can't believe it.
Brilliant. Russell Lafferty. What did we get him for? Hibs, was it? Hibs. Was that a freebie or did we pay a fee to him?
I think it was the same price that Messi. If you talk to Stardog, we paid the same price that Man City are going to pay that Messi had.
Aye. Unbelievable. He wasn't a bad wee player, but was he? And it wasn't a great
Lovely wee player. Lovely wee player. No doubt about it.
player. Wasn't a bad wee player.
We've had worse. In fact, there's worse than the two lists.
A few of them come in and out again very quickly.
There is a lot of similarities in what they've done with the players they've tried to bring in, the positions they've tried to strengthen. Goalkeeping, McGregor came in, obviously. Big McLaughlin's come in, Woods came in. The centre halves, when you look at the number of centre halves he's tried to sign, try to improve the team. Because the two of them had a very low base, Stevie, when they come in the door.
Aye. There's no half. And can I say another thing too? They're very similar in the fact that the back suits The board's back Souness with the cash. And let's be honest, guys, our board's back Stevie G with the cash. Big time. I mean, it's took us a wee while to get up and running with the signings and whatever, but if you take it, how much money do you think we've spent? How much money do you think Stevie G's had to spend? I mean, there's this season up there. They're for Kent. There's 7 million for Kent right away. You know, it's absolutely a few quid. You know, everything I think he's asked for, he's got, to be fair to the board, you know.
You know, aye. But the other thing I know is, obviously, the amount of season tickets are sold, the merchandise, all the things we've done to support the club. When Souness came in, we went to the crowds to say mid-20s to a full stadium of 45,000. So, yeah, we spent money, but again, it was the fans' money because the revenue went through the roof.
I think it was Ian Skelly, wasn't it, at the time, with Souness, all the sponsors were. Ian Skelly was everywhere, or the Copeland and the Broomland. Aye. But I'll tell you, there's similarities there, but as I think Jim says, I think he had the nail on the head. See if we get a wee rub of the blue here, and Stevie G gets that first trophy under his belt, I think we're off, guys. I think we're hitting the ground running. I think that other mob will fall apart at the seams. There's cracks starting to appear now. So
is that including their new signing? They're not going to win the World Cup or something like that with this new signing of theirs, no?
Was he on a boy band?
Boy band. Shane Duffy. Could have been, actually, I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, they've got more thing to worry about than us coming after them, I'll tell you that.
You better believe it.
You know, but right, so you've listed all these signings, right? 35, you stopped at 35. I'm talking about the first 2 years. We're trying to compare the first 2 years. The first 2 years Stevie G was here, we've no won the league. Graham won the league, we lost it the second year. We won 2 league cups, yeah?
Yeah.
We've not picked up a trophy. We didn't do great in Europe. The first year Souness was here because we were in Europe. We've done okay a couple of rounds in the UEFA Cup. The second year we got to the quarter-final of the European Cup against lost to Steaua Bucharest.
Steaua Bucharest. We get beat 1, didn't we? 2-0
away, 1-1 up the Ibrox, yeah. Do your homework before you come on here.
That's shocking, isn't it?
Oh, man.
But I genuinely believe that there's a bit of luck involved because that year in that competition, Big Butcher broke his leg in November. And Stevie G said that's a bad luck as well. So you just need that bridge, man.
I think if Butcher hadn't got a leg break, we would have won it. That's my honest opinion. I think we were really bad luck with that one. Very bad luck with that one. Well, that's happened to a few people that played for the Rangers. Have had leg breaks at crucial points. But nah, I think that we have been a very successful team under Souness, and this manager has dragged us from basement at the top level. Although we were lying second, third in the league, but my goodness gracious, it's great. What a feeling! I don't want to go into too much because I wax lyrical about the guy. And it sounds as if I don't want to do anything like that. Very happy. Mr. Souness, forever.
Aye. Stevie G's record in Europe, mate, it's pretty good, Stevie. I mean, obviously, Souness didn't play the number of ties the first 2 years, done okay, but you've got your hand it to Gerrard.
Oh, my God, man. Let's be honest. What bear out there was expected to go on the runs, the 2 runs that we were on? Well, we're all just saying, if we could just get to the league section of it, then that's the money in the bank and we've done ourselves proud. But my God, man, even go further than that again was absolutely fantastic. The revenue that's brought to the club, and the most important thing for me was we've got people all over Europe talking about the Glasgow Rangers again. Big time. You know, and there's people sitting going, oh no, we've drew Rangers here. We don't want Rangers. We don't want to go to Ibrox. You know, and we're back. get on the European stage, we're back, guys, and Stevie G has given us every bit of credibility back, and it's been absolutely brilliant. I can't thank the guy. Bridges talking about waxing lyrical about the guy. I can't. I mean, I sneaked my wee boy out of school to go and I told the school the dentist to go and see him when he first came, and he came out that tunnel. I've been a Stevie G fan for he came out that tunnel that day, and I've stuck with him, and I'm still on the training now. And I just think once we get that first trophy under our belt, we're no looking back, guys. We are not. But Stevie G's given us our reputation back big time.
All right. A wee question for you, Bridge. You like your defending, didn't you?
Oh, I love defending, yes. I love the
You
defending.
know, you put all your haddies to defend because it's easy, isn't it? Right. So, I've got a list here, and I've not even give you prior notice of this. I might put up a prize. Right, the average number of goals conceded per game. Yeah, but the minimum is the manager has been here for 10 games. Who do you think's top of that list? Who's got the best defensive record? What manager in Rangers history?
Rangers history.
To be perfectly honest with you, I think you've got to put Gerrard in there. Gerrard's got to be very near the top of that.
Right.
If not the top. Yes, pal.
But the Iron Curtain will be.
I mean, that's Bill Struth for a long period of time, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Bill Struth, 1,576 games, mate.
The first number of games we had under Warburton, we were excellent in defence as well. Well, we never gave away a lot of goals, let's put it that way. But I think Gerrard's record in defence is great.
What would you go for, Stevie?
I don't know. You're saying in Rangers history. I just, I can't get back as far as the Bridgeman and stuff. But I mean, I know Souness and that. Did they not go so many minutes without? Was that
right? Here we go. Top of the three, Bridgeman. You're on fire, by the way. You're on fire. Stevie G is top of it.
Oh, you're a dancer.
Average goals lost per game, 0.68 from 128. Second, I think the clue was in the conversation tonight, Mr. McPherson. Graham Souness, 0.69 from 261 games.
I did say that.
Yes. So there's even more similarities. The base built the bedrock of their team on no losing goals, Bridge.
Yeah, we all know how important it is to clean sheets. They're really important. I know that some folks say, I really don't care about clean sheet. Let's score 4 goals because it'll brighten the place up and so on and so forth. Being a defender at heart, I don't want to lose goals. I just don't want to lose. Obviously, I want my team to score goals, but I don't want to lose goals. That's the number one from my mind anyway. And our manager, by the sound of it, I'm really pleased with that. That is absolutely brilliant. Him and Souness.
When they're fun that the day, Big Stevie, it surprised me.
Well, it's certainly surprised. I would have said Stevie G. There you go. I was going to be back to the. Obviously, you're putting two together. The Iron Curtain with some defence, so you're thinking maybe something down that line. But no, I would have Stevie G. And I always knew that Souness and the troops had a good wee run, and it was that. Adrian Sproul, was it? Sproul? He broke it. In the cup, he put his out one nut in the Ibrox. And that's what broke that record. So I can remember that. But no, I wouldn't have. That's Stevie G's. That's
before we have a tune, a quick bonus point. Who's number 3 in the list? What manager's number 3 in the list?
Jock Wallace.
The Ridgeman.
I have a wild guess at Warburton.
All right. It's here's a list in full. Stevie Gerrard, 0.68, 120 games. Graham Souness, 0.69, 261 games. Ali McCoist.
Oh my goodness gracious! You're kidding me on.
Up for 167 games. Dick Advocat.
Of course, the lower leagues, yes, okay.
From 195 games. Alec McLeish, .83 for 235 games. Walter Smith, .86, 626 games. Mark Warburton, .9, 82 games. Paul McGuinn, .9, 31 games. Bill Struth, .98, 1,576. And Jock Wallace, .99 from 437 games.
Shit, we must have lost a lot of goals under Warburton. Well, that's your guest
Anyway, we joined by a caller. Evening, caller. Hello.
Hello, how you doing? Who am I speaking to?
All right, you're speaking to Oxford.
Hi, this is Gordon from New Zealand. How you doing?
Hi, Gordon.
New Zealand,
How you doing, alright? Aye.
Wow, by the way, we've had most countries covered, Gordon, but I reckon you're my first caller for New Zealand. Big Stevie.
Brilliant, fantastic, absolutely brilliant. New Zealand, absolutely brilliant.
You calling from Auckland? Is it Auckland you're from?
Oh no, I was originally in Wellington. I played 30 years. Wellington, but I'm in Christchurch now. But there's a lot of bears over here.
Oh, brilliant, mate. Listen,
I'll tell you what, I love your show. I've been listening to you for about 3 years, and I feel as if I know you. You know what I mean? I was actually on that number 9 bus last night. I didn't even know.
You were not. You don't come from that area, do you?
Oh, I'm a Goblin boy.
Oh, you're an infiltrator then.
Oh, born number 5, Copland Road.
Oh, love it, love it.
You know the best thing you come out of Govan?
What, the road to Partick?
The subway to Partick.
Oh, it's a shocker, isn't it? Absolute shocker. Who wants to go to Partick today, for God's sake?
Who did the Bridgeman play for?
Who did he play for?
You know, like I played football myself. You know, I mean, I hear him talking. I know where he's coming from.
I was over in South Africa for a long time and down in England. It's mostly non-league stuff, you know. I played for PE City, and can't even remember now. There was about 4 teams down in England: Cockgrave Olympic, and 3 or 4 others in the non-league area. Other than that,
and he was also in the Berlin team as well.
Berlin, aye. I played in the jail team.
I'll tell you what, I mean, Berlin was a hard. It was okay to get into Berlin, but it was hard getting it.
There speaks a voice of experience.
Right, you hang on for a second. We'll be right back for you. This is going to be a good laugh, I can tell. But we're going to have a tune, mate. Yeah, you all right with that?
I'm fine with that, mate. I'm wonderful, thank you.
Get yourself a mute, and we'll have a tune.
Well, I go mute. Okay, hold on. See if I can do that on this phone. No problem, my friend.
Come to me wild and wild.
That was a popular one, the hobby bridge.
I'll tell you, absolutely. A lot of dancing going on there. A lot of dancing.
Oh, there was
What a great tune. What a great tune.
a wee trilogy of CD, Mr. Skipper and Little Blue having a dance. There was some black flips in the splits, and it wasn't CB and it wasn't Skipper.
Oh, wow.
All right. Make sure I wrote.
I was just going to say that, boys. I don't think these guys realise how many Rangers supporters are about the world. I mean,
I mean, you've really touched us tonight, mate. I definitely think you were first ever caller for New Zealand, mate. We've been in touch with all over Australia. We've been Philippines, boys we've been South Africa, places in the Middle East. The odd call for Europe, especially when Big Stevie's on tour. A lot of boys for America, Canada, but you're definitely the first for New Zealand. Absolutely brilliant, Gordon.
No, but they got a team. They've got a team in Auckland, the Kiwi 2 Blues.
Right.
Very good football team as well. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. And what's your story? How obviously you've still got your accent. How long have you been over in New Zealand for?
I've been here about 40 years. I'm 65 this year. I know it's a long time. It's sliding. You don't even know what's happening. It just goes. You know what I mean? I've been back home about 6 times, but. My mum and dad have passed away, unfortunately, and come back. Barcelona Bear, I was there 16, you know what I mean?
Right, okay, brilliant, mate, brilliant. Obviously, before, well, we were both, well, I was alive, I don't think Big Stevie was, but too young to go to Barcelona, but greatest night in history, Fox was there, great that you were there. Give your Rangers story there. Did your dad get you into the club? Was it a family thing?
Just number 5 Coleman Road. Right. Watched the Bears going up the road, and that was it. I mean, like, so it's a family thing as well. You know what I mean, like, so my dad wasn't too involved with football and that, but like, so I just took it up. I mean, I actually played quite a bit. I played for Clydebank and St Mirren and that. And
all right, okay.
I signed with Clydebank the same night as Davy Cooper, and what a player he was,
Just a bit, mate. Just a bit.
Unbelievable.
They have the same skills.
No, I tell you what, mate. He was just, that boy was special for day one.
Absolutely, pal.
He was it came out his body. You know what I mean? Just gliding tab of the water. You know what I mean? Like, he was just some player. You know what I mean? Like, so that night at Clydebank, we won 3-1, and he took the piss. You know, be quite honest. Sorry about language.
Anybody that plays professional football players can play, mate. You know what I mean? People say, "Oh, he's not very good," but everybody that plays professional can play, mate.
Yeah, we can do that a wee bit. I mean, it's just nowadays. I mean, it's a different game nowadays. Like, so I was a centre half, and I mean, that's probably
I'll take that back. Apart from centre halves who can't play.
No, I mean, but don't get me wrong. I started at centre forward, centre midfield at Shrewsbury, and then centre half. I mean, I kept on going backwards. If I'd have played any longer, I'd been a goalkeeper.
Bridge ended up the terrace behind the goal.
That's what I said. Like, I started in the terrace, then started working my way backwards.
Even Brick finished, they gave him a presentation, they gave him a lovely knife, mate. It was for cutting up the oranges. He was great at it.
Nah, it's wonderful. Like, so I'll tell you what, I've been listening to your show for about 3 years. It's been fantastic.
Don't you listen to him, by the way? He's a shocker, that in party. Absolutely shocking.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about his man. I've got his number.
Done yourself, pal.
Oh, that's shocking, by the way. Bridge, Gordon, you've really took the wind out my sails, mate. But what time is it in New Zealand at the moment?
It's 8:10.
All right, okay. So, what do you do?
In the morning.
You listen to his live, or do you listen to the archives the next day, or how do you do it?
Well, I just listen to you all the time. I listen to you live. I listen to you. I do it live. I do it at night time, different times. I might listen. It's been a wonderful. It's a wonderful show, and I'm giving you the credit you're due. I mean, it's fantastic.
You're now part of the show, mate. Big Stevie for the drum. You're in Bridgeman. You're going to get the bag. Right, carry on, Stevie.
I'm getting a husband. Hey, God, now you did Big Stevie for the drum. I take it the show. It's good to hear a friendly voice, is it? When you're staying that far away. take you back, hey, take your memories, mate. The stuff we talk about and stuff like that.
It is definitely, I mean, but it's like we beat John Brown down here, Postal Boys and whatever. There's, you wouldn't imagine that the Rangers supporters are how they are. I mean, all over the place. I mean, they blue shirts are everywhere.
I believe it. I believe it. World, all the world. South Africa, all over the place. Absolutely. We had a guy on the show there a few shows ago, and he was for an island just outside, was it Bermuda or something? Oh, am I right? And he was saying he could get a carry out.
No, that was the Philippines. The Philippines.
The Philippines, aye. He said
He was away to the Philippines, aye.
He couldn't get a carry out. He said, I need to get a train and then a boat. And I said, what, you can't get a carry out? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. The support, I mean, this wee show never ceased to amaze me. The people that's listening all over the world into this wee show. And I'll tell you what, the wee shows deserve every plaudit. It gives the Bears some platform to say their piece. You know, I know everybody's going to agree with each other's opinions, but at least you get a stage to do that. And that's what I love about it. And we always try and treat each other with respect when we're on it. It's absolutely brilliant. But as Oxstats say, I think it's New Zealand.
That word you used there called respect, out respect. We're not like, well, I'm not going to even say the wanky word, but like so, it's called respect. It's about treating each other properly. And that's why we are the family.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I still think sometimes Bridge is too much of a go at myself, mate, if I'm being honest.
What a shocker you are, boy. What a shocker.
I'll tell you what, it was nice to hear wee Linda on the show. The wee Glasgow voice, the wee lassie, she was wonderful.
Linda, the first lady now of Rangers Radio. We've got some other great ladies, Little Blue. We've had Tracy was a star when she came on the show. It's great when they come on. The games change, the perceptions change, and it's great to hear them. I'm sure Linda will be on very, very soon again. You know,
I'll tell you what, I got a lot of mates who like.
This was a talent scout who recruited Linda, Mr. Stevie, for the drum here.
Well, I'll tell you what, drum chap with some players. Had a good one of the boys that played with Cooper and I quite frank, a boy called Harry Bell. He was a good football player. The Bell family, and he took me up to drum chapel one day for a drink on Sunday. Took me down the club, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, it was like another world.
I would agree with that. It's definitely like another world.
Stevie, if I ever come to Dumchapel, you better look after me.
No problem. Listen, we've got Marine Mountain out here. It's called Kill a Man for a Gyro.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So, we're talking about the night, Gordon, and were you still playing when Soonest came to Ibrox?
Oh, I'd been here. I'd went to New Zealand. I played football here. I mean,
right, okay. So
I missed 3 years.
Can you see similarities between what happened when Soonest came into the club and what happened when Gerrard's come in?
Definitely. I think it's Soonest was a hard individual. I mean, but he had Walter Smith behind him who knew the game. I mean, and it's after the years we went through recently. I mean, Gerrard picked up a real bad one. You know what I mean? With that, after the two clowns we had running the team. You know what I mean? And what we went through. I mean, 4 years. He had to start the grassroots. He brought his own background team in, and I believe they're quite good. And he had to make a lot of changes. People getting out the door, and he's done it. He's done amazing things in the short time he's been here. Amazing stuff. I mean, to be quite honest.
Gerrard's a brand, a world brand. Stevie, you mentioned that is he still seen as a star in New Zealand?
Oh, listen.
Oh,
sorry.
On you go, Gordon. On you go, mate.
I was going to say, with him, he is a brand. He's a Liverpool brand, and I know a lot of Liverpool supporters that support Rangers. I mean, like even Kiwi boys, you know, and he's just he's put the icing on the cake for us a wee bit. You know, we were coming back. We were struggling. We had our hiccups. He's put a wee bit of his name out there, just being associated with the club, has established us as a brand. I mean, Glasgow Rangers. I mean, we were a brand before, but he's put the icing on the cake. I mean,
Big Stevie, in you come, mate.
I've said it before, and I keep saying it. Stevie G's a world brand. I mean, no matter where he goes in the world, you'll have young lassies out there, you'll have Liverpool fans, Bears, all over the world will flock to see that man. I've said it again about the sponsors, and by the way, there's probably hundreds of things he's probably bought to our club that we don't even know about. The man is just absolutely magnificent for our club. And I'm telling you now, Jim said it earlier on, see, once we get that first trophy under our belt, we're away like a 2-year-old, guys. We're no looking back. And do you know, I'll be really, when we do get that first trophy under our belt, I'll be pleased for the support, obviously, that goes without saying, but I think I'll be pleased for him, because he's really tried everything to get us. He's done everything to get his reputation back, and the boy deserves a wee bit of rubbery blues, Oxes, and it'll be great. He is a world brand. He's a rock star. He's a star. Brilliant.
Yeah. Gordon, Souness, different kind of person for Gerrard, but there's still a lot of similarities with Liverpool captain, top players. Stevie G didn't do any player management, but they both transformed the club at different circumstances.
definitely. I mean, I think you underestimate Stevie G's hardness. Stevie G was a hard player. He wasn't a filthy player. I mean, Souness had the reputation, but that was the 70s and 80s when he played. And it was a hard game then. You could tackle through high and you could get away with murder, and Souness did get away with murder. Stevie G played a bit later. But he was no mug, Stevie G. He played in midfield. He was as hard as they come. If you ask any player about Stevie G, he was box to box, and he could pass the ball and he could score goals. But he had a tough nature in him. And I think he's starting to show now that when he's running the team, he'll let players go, Big Ross and stuff like that. He'll just let them go. If you're not doing it, I need players that are going to do it. So he's got a bit of steel there, you know what I mean? I've got a very good feeling about it at the moment, you know.
And you know Stevie G is shite.
Oh.
Sorry?
Oh, the guy's been trapped. We'll also be joined by Alex. Evening, Alex.
Hi, Ox. How you doing, pal?
Turn your volume down a wee bit. He blasted us there. How you doing?
Me?
Aye.
No, no, sorry. I'm okay. How you doing, Bridgeman? And Stevie for the drum.
All right.
Brilliant, Alex. Thanks. And yourself? You all right yourself, bud?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Excellent.
Nice to have a visitor in from New Zealand as well. Welcome, mate.
A Copeland Road boy, you know.
Yep. Aye, definitely.
Aye, so you've got to have that Steely streak to play at that high level. I don't think Stevie G's any mug, Gordon, eh?
No, I don't think so. You mean, like, say, I don't want to ever underestimate him with his young looks. He's a handsome boy. I mean, like, and he talks very well. He's fantastic ambassador for the club. But he's a mean streak about him, and he wants success. I mean, he knows how to get it. And hopefully he's got the back up there. I think McAllister's probably a bit of an unsung hero as well. He'll be working behind the scenes. I mean, so I'm really pleased the way the club's heading.
That's how Fox isn't on as often as he used to be, because he does a sort of model and double for Stevie G at the moment, you know.
The Foxman talks a lot of sense, and well, you all talk a lot of sense. I mean, you're all good football men, and that's important. That's why I love the show. And it's about football, and it's not always about Rangers. You know, you've got to put your heart in your. We play with our heart in our sleeve, but you've got to be honest about it. But we are honest people. Everything I hear for that other side is just pure garbage. You know?
You're here. Alex, what's on your mind, mate?
4, 7, 7.
Oh, carry on, Alex.
I'm enjoying the show tonight in the chat. It's a good comparison, Gerrard and Souness. Obviously, the two of them Liverpool legends as players and winning European Cups and that demand respect, basically. But I would actually say that Gerrard's had a tougher time as a manager than what Souness did, because Souness had at least a kind of good Scottish, British foundation of players that he had to work with when you think about it. I mean, Stuart Monroe, Cooper, Ferguson, Derek Ferguson, Ian Durrant,
McCoist.
which obviously you get rid of a lot of them as well. But Souness had Oika Senior's rubbish to deal with, you know. So you mentioned what 35 players that Gerrard's brought in. That's because he's basically had to start again. He's only really kept on Morelos and Taverner and Fotheringham, really, didn't he? So, but he's doing great for me. He just needs to win the trophies and the title. That's the only thing that's missing for the CVs.
All right, we've been joined by Blue Star, who's come in. He fancies a wee trip to Christchurch. How we doing, Blue Star?
All right, Ox, Jern. The team, you're right today, Ox, because all my family's out there and I've never been. That's how I was trying to get on there when I heard the boy Gordon on.
He's not going to pay your fare, let's put it that way. He's not paying your fare.
3 or 4 times,
what's the boy's name?
There's 3 of them. One's Jimmy McGeechan, one's Frank Finlay, and the other one's Frank Mickelson.
Oh,
2 of them were for... No, they're no brothers. 2 of them were for Easterhouse, and Jimmy was for Shettleston.
And what city are they in?
Christchurch. One of the Franks is in Auckland, and my Auntie Anne and Uncle Jimmy, they're both in Christchurch, yeah.
Jesus. I've not bumped into them. As I said, I've only been down here for a couple of years. I was the Wellington base, I mean, and there was the Wellington Bears, Wellington Rangers Supporter Club as well.
Right.
It's just unbelievable. Like, as you well know, it's just a sea of blue down here.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, because I was interested to hear you saying your teams last night, and then when you mentioned that bit about the defences leaking the least amount of goals. The very ironic thing there, and I know that would have spoke to you because I know you love the big guy. Jock Wallace's thing was at the bottom, and yet the guy won 2 trebles for us. You know what I mean? It's ironic that Stevie G might be at the top, and we know that our team needs to stop letting in goals as every team does, but it's all about winning trophies just the same. And as I say, Big Jock won his 2 trebles, and yet he's at the bottom of that list you gave out. It just shows you sometimes how stats can work for and against in certain circumstances, you know.
If you would have took Big Jock's stats the first time he came and the second time he came, I think there'll be a big difference, Blue Star.
Oh, aye, absolutely, yeah.
Aye.
No doubt about that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll just give you another one that'll surprise you. This will surprise you, right? Obviously, more than 10 games have all played, right? What Rangers manager has the highest win percentage? Alex.
Advocate.
Number 3. Big Stevie.
Stuart McCall.
Not even on the list, didn't do enough games. You've got to have done at least 10 games.
I tried. I'll go for...
You're not getting 2 guesses. You go...
All right.
Based on what you said earlier, it really surprised me with where he sat on the table. I'll go for Ali McCoist.
You're on fire. What's up with you? You swallowed.
It's good to hospital.
No, he's took a massive blue pill, isn't he, Bridgeman?
Are we right? Tell the figures. What's the figures?
You're right. Ali McCoy's top of the list. Blue Star, you like this, that's 72.4. Bill Struth, 68. Advocate, 67. Mark Warburton, 67. McLeish, 65. Davy White, 64. Scott Simon, 64. All points. Graham Souness ahead of Walter Smith.
Yeah. But you got to take into account what Ali's teams were playing against as well. You know what I mean? The lower leagues, obviously.
If I was Ali, I'd say you only play who you're playing.
Yeah.
I think actually it's not a bad point. You got to feel that. I never even thought about Ali McCoist until the last questions that were being asked by Oxshare, and just based on that, I said Ali McCoist, but I think Blue Star's got a good point there. If you're not playing in the Premiership, well, never mind. I won the two.
Stevie G's not got a lot of losses, Gordon, but he said a lot of draws, which have been sold on, is it?
I think that actually sums up his first 2 years in management. I mean, you got to remember he's a young manager, and he's been a bit conservative, if you know what I mean. And because the Rangers the way they were going, he's been trying to put them on a steady keel. I think he's probably thinking within himself. He's probably saying, well, "Okay, we might not win this game, but I don't want to lose it," if you know what I mean. And maybe I'm hoping that's the way he's thinking, because I'd rather put on 2 attacking players in the last 10 minutes and go for the jugular. But that's on a personal basis. But when you're sitting in that dugout, you're tossed up, and you get 50,000 bears bail on you, and you're like, "Am I going to win this game or lose it?" What would you do? If you get 50,000 Rangers supporters in your throat, you'd be sitting there saying,
"That's a tough one."
See one of the drawbacks the poor guys had in that sense. Look what he had to take our for Caixinha. We knew we were bad when we had to go down leagues, but bringing the wee guy in at the time, okay, we didn't know much about that wee guy, but for goodness sake, I mean, look at the dross we had at that club. And as you mentioned, and as you all mentioned tonight, the guys had to transform us from bottom to top, and he said to change all the youngsters, the protocol, everything about our club, and he's eventually done that. It's all about just getting that trophy now. And I'm being honest, I'm a bit like Big Stevie now. I genuinely see a massive difference in us, even in these short games. And yes, I've still criticised, we always will. But you see the methods in his so-called madness now. You see a style to our play. You see him eventually getting in the types of players that he actually wants in. And that's what it's all about. But the guys had very, very little time. It's okay saying he's had 2 seasons, but look at the state we were in. Even with shocks, good grief, were even terrible. So the guys had to totally revamp the club top to bottom, and we can all see the difference now. You know, and that's what the guys had to battle with.
Alex, can you comment? Alex,
No, I totally agree with that. That's what I was trying to say as well. I think Souness had a sort of foundation there already with the Scottish players in that. Stuart Monroe as well was a cracking left back to work with. But, you know, the South Americans that Caixinha was bringing in,
exactly,
Herrera and all that, they were hopeless, and they weren't adaptable to be our game. So he's basically had to wipe the slate clean and start over again. And obviously it's going to be trial and error. A lot of them as we're fun out to our cost. But if they don't make the grade, Gerard's got to make a decision to say, no, you're not good enough. Next then, you know. So he's getting there, but we can definitely see the progress that he's made.
Would Gerard's reign be looked? This is for Big Stevie for the drum. If Morelos scores that penalty at Hampden, we go to win that cup. I'm convinced of that. If Gerard had just won that cup, would his reign be looked at differently?
100%, Ox.
No doubt about it.
Blue Star, your name's Blue Star, no Stevie for the drum.
Sorry.
Oh, 100%, Ox. If he'd have got that bit of silverware under his belt, it's a different ball game completely, because they would have imploded at the other side of the city and all. And by the way, our heads wouldn't have come down after that break. We'd have been that. I really believe the mindset would have been there to go and win that title. 100%, rather than the opposite happened to us. But can I just say this, going back to what Blue Star was talking about? Do you think Derek McInnes in 30, just let's say 36 months, do you think he'd have made the leaps and bounds that Gerard's made in the last 36 months? There's no way in the world, guys. Steven Gerrard's gave us our whole credit back in 30, and he's for the top to the bottom for our training ground. We've got assets in the park now, and the sponsorship and everything the guy's done for us in 36 months has been absolutely unbelievable. And sometimes, but I keep saying it, we need to take a wee step back. Sometimes we can be too critical of the guy. All right, there wasn't a plan B with most games we played or whatever. Everybody's got a different opinion on the guy regarding that too. I can see a difference this season where he can change it a bit. But let's be honest, there's been progress every year he's been in the door.
Don't mention progress. Don't mention progress.
Nice one.
Aye, you're right, mate. You're right. But by the way, it's 27 months he's in the door, mate.
I know, but it's just been nice. Even if it was, you've got to. Listen, look what he's done then. Come on, look what he's done in 27 months. The youth set back, our credits back, we're having runs in Europe. They're just the one thing that's eluding us and who's getting that line, getting a bit of silverware. And I'm telling you guys, once we get it, we're no looking back. Trust me, we're no looking back. You're going to be the hat.
Months, I think Graham Souness had delivered 3 trophies in the quarterfinals of the European Cup, mate.
Times were, listen, the Europe one day, no English clubs were barred out of Europe at that time.
I know that. It's different. It's no apples for apples, you know. I get it.
Yeah. Aye.
What's that in you come, mate?
Well, for starters, on Souness, you've got to put things in perspective. When Graham came in, let's be honest, he more or less had an open checkbook. Whether they were in Europe or not, he was still able to go for the cream of the crop. The standard of player was completely and utterly different. Stevie G's not had anything like that. And let's be honest, guys, even yet, he still isn't able to go out and get the players that he would bring in because the finance isn't there, obviously. But considering what he's up against and the difficulty that our club had, money-wise and everything else, as Stevie says, it's took him time, of course it has, but he's revamped the whole club. It's not just about the 11 players on the park. The whole club had to get changed around from bottom to top, and the guy's done that because every single person you know that works at that club now, they all tell you the differences, the strides that they've made in the last couple of years. So he's had all that to contend with. He had to do it his way. And as you said there, if McInnes had come in, would he even have got the sanctions to put in place to revamp the academy and everything else? He wouldn't have.
They are qualified for any of the Europa Leagues, not one of them. Gordon,
exactly.
Give us your thoughts. Then we'll go to Alex.
Sorry, friend, what did you say?
Here's your thoughts on what the lads are saying there.
Well, I think he's totally right. There's been a lot of great comments there, and it's all positive stuff. And I think we're all saying that Gerard picked up a bad body. You know what I mean? Like I say, he came in when the club was in dire straits. Even the fans must have been looking at each other. Even it was it's horrible stuff. And he's transformed it in every shape and form. You know what I mean? Like so, he's given the fans back belief. And when you get the fans back believing in themselves, and you go and watch your team. Man, I feel sorry for the young kids that I've never seen what I've seen. Do you know what I mean?
Myself,
the Rangers winning. I kid you not. You know what I mean? Like, so imagine your boys have never seen Rangers winning 9 in a row or winning the cup. I remember the first time we won the league in '74 at Hibs Easter Road, and we hadn't won the league for ages. We tore that place apart. We tore it apart. I mean, don't mean we violent, but it was just happiness for getting that championship, you know what I mean? And that was so many years, 40 years ago, Jesus Christ. But then we went on a roll. Fantastic, you mean?
Aye, we won the league Easter Road 1975, fantastic.
Aye, I was thinking 74.
Aye, 74.
And that was some day, that man. Oh. Jesus Christ. I think Sandy scored the goal, didn't he?
No, Colin Steen scored the goal. Sandy Jardine hit the post with a penalty. Yeah.
Oh, he was the penalty. Is that what it was? We won 1-2. Jesus Christ. Sorry, but it was that long ago, you mean? But
listen, Gordon, if you're going to come on here, do your homework,
I'll do that. I will. No, but seriously, boys, I mean, like, it's wonderful. I mean, the thing with the show is that everybody's talking sense, and we've all got Rangers in our heart. You know what I mean, so we're not talking about the other mob. We're not being vicious towards them. All we want is our team playing on a Saturday and doing their best and winning.
We've no interest in that, and you're going to get your leg pulled on here and all, mate. But you're right. 1975, we stopped him winning that number, and we're going to do it again this year, aren't we, Alex?
Oh, aye, of course we are. 55 is coming home, guys. I'm on the Stevie G gravy train all the way. Aye, it's great to see. See, to be honest, Stevie's kind of walking a giant again. He's gave us our club back. He's gave us something to be proud of again when you're watching your team. Rare all the spivs and everything that was going behind the scenes, but we're actually looking forward to seeing our team playing again, you know, rather than watching through the cracks in the eyes every time we played them. But everything's great, you know. So keep it going.
But Soonest done the same. We'd finished fifth in the league when Soonest came in the door. He gave the Bears self-respect back as well. Soonest Blue Star it. Oh, we lost Poster. Bridgeman, I'll take that to you, mate. Graham Souness done the same, didn't he? Gave us back our self-respect.
Oh, yes. Self-respect and happiness and joy and smiles on faces and all wanting to, well, the ones who had stayed away for such a long time all wanted to come back in and see the Rangers. So there was a big upswell of interest in what Rangers were doing under Souness. And it proved to be right. The man was a genius for what he did to Rangers. Me as a fan, I couldn't take it all in at times, you know. It was just fabulous, just utterly fabulous. And then the way he left, and within, I don't know how long it was, he ended up with a triple heart bypass and things like that. Walter Smith had taken over. I mean, all these things, I still admire the guy greatly, that to this day, Souness. And if he was coming back to Ibrox, I would be there to welcome him back. Seriously, that's how highly I think him, and that's no disrespect to anybody in Rangers. Walter Smith was just marvellous for us. He did everything right, took us all the way to the 9 in a row, and then went to wherever he was going, to Scotland, and then came back again and helped us over the hurdles we were there. So Walter's been a great servant to Rangers. Souness was just he had a bit of a magic touch about him, in my opinion, magic touch.
Blue Star, you're back with us now, mate.
Yeah, I went to take myself off mute there, Ox, and I hit the red button instead. Soonest for me, the guy had class written all over him, and for me, Stevie G, in some ways, I'll be honest here, Ox, for me, Stevie G's even marry a gentleman. Soonest for me was, although he was ungrateful for our club, for me, he was still incredibly fortunate with the money that he had. Stevie G or any other man, well, Walter did there, so did Advocate. But I mean, Stevie G's on a different playing field altogether. So for him to put us where we are on the resources that he hasn't got, you can't take that away for the guy. I know we've still got to wait a trophy, but the restrictions that the guy had to change our whole club, you've got to take all that into account. And for me, Stevie G, all he needs is that trophy, and I genuinely think it's coming soon as I do.
Alex, obviously there's a lot of people maybe listening to the show who are a bit younger and they weren't there when the Souness revolution came in. There is so many similarities, isn't there? It's uncanny.
Aye, it's incredible. I mean, I was on my young boy myself. I was only about 11, I think I was, when Souness came in.
My dad told me about it.
Aye.
But,
what a shocker!
I just remember the buzz and the excitement. A big name like Graham Souness coming in, and even then, my dad says that he didn't realise how much of a blue nose that Souness was. Before he took the job, and since the interviews and stuff that he's done, then he had no idea that he was he was brought up as a Bluenose, even though he was an Edinburgh boy, because he tells a story about his very first game at Easter Road, and obviously gets sent off for the tackle, and he looked up in the store and his feathers got the heat in their loins. He's ashamed of him. He came in off the park, but Souness had it in his heart for our club that we didn't realise, but he woke a giant, and Gerard's going to wake the giant again.
Right, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to take it to all you. I'm going to start with Gordon because he's the star of the show tonight, right? The two of them in their pomp. The two of them in their pomp. Souness or Gerard, who you putting in your team?
Oh.
For me, being the player I was, and I put heart in the team, you grab people by the neck and you get them going forward. I've got to say Souness, because you'd be frightened to let him down. You'd be frightened to let him down because he'd be on your back, on the park, before it. No dressing room stuff, anything like that. On the park, he'd tell you where you're going wrong. Souness, definitely.
All right. So you were the bridge man, the sort of Franco Baresi type of centre half, were you?
No, well, I just played, nothing like so. As I said, I'm a government boy, like so. When we played, you know, like so.
Gordon, don't bite. Don't bite now.
No, but it's a bit different. I could play a wee bit, but it's a bit business. But the bottom line was, he was out there to win the game. My job was centre half to stop him.
Yes.
And you stop him.
Told you, Bridgeman get player of the season. They touched the ball 3 times the whole season.
Well, as long as he kicked the player 6 times, player of the year.
Exactly.
That's good enough for me.
Exactly. Right, Bridgeman, who are you taking? Souness or Gerard? Players?
I think, based on the way we've discussed the whole thing tonight, I think I've got to go.
As players at the
as players, no, I'm just saying the way our discussions have gone tonight. I would suggest that I would probably go for Souness.
All right.
That's what probably go for Souness.
We've been joined by a caller. I'll take the call. Evening, caller.
All right, guys, back again. Oh, there's no argument in this question. I'll tell you, man. Souness all day long, man. Easy peasy.
All right, as a player, right? All right.
Was that Jim that came in?
Jim.
And that's the Edith got me going heroin, man. Souness all day long, man.
We never took your call because of your Stefan Kloss outburst last night. Right, Alex, who you taking? That your pomp? Who you taking?
Well, I'm going against it, guys. I'm sticking up for Gerard because he taking a team surrounded by pretty much average players.
No. What I'm saying is, a player, forget about management. As a player, you're putting one of them in your team. Who are you taking? Souness or Gerard?
That's what I'm saying. Gerard was surrounded with average players and made them European champions. Souness was surrounded with world-class players at Liverpool.
Right, okay, I get where you're coming from. I wouldn't say there was some decent players in that Liverpool side, but I'll take your point. Blue Star.
Gerard all day long. Oh, I disagree with you, Jim, for the simple reason Gerard had over 100 caps, club and country, and scored far more goals. I know they were maybe a kind of different player. Certainly, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't say Souness wasn't a bad player. Of course he was. He was a great player. But Gerard for me he had it all. He could defend, he could attack, and he could dig. And there's very, very few midfielders that had all 3. I would take Gerard.
Oh, this is getting interesting. There could be a fight here. I'm going to go with the 2 centre halves. I think they 2 can fight. Big Stevie, what's your thoughts?
Sorry, Jim. I'm going for Stevie G, mate.
Oh. Good on you, Stevie.
Very much the same as...
You must be a young team on here.
So the youngins.
What do you mean?
Listen, I think Blue Star stole some of my thunder there. You know, the boys got a winning mentality, could score goals, they could tackle. And I don't know, I think it was Alec that says he was surrounded by kind of average players and made them into European champions. And listen, Souness was a harder player than Gerard. We get that, but I just think Gerrard was a better all-rounder, I would say. So I'm going for Stevie.
I'm coming back in with that one. You know, tell me the players that Graham Souness played with at Liverpool, weren't they?
They were world class.
What, I mean, back in the days of Steve Highway and all that, they were more world-class players than what Steven Gerrard played under. Nah, no chance, man.
Definitely.
Jim, Highway was a brilliant player.
I mean, it was the world-class. They were in a day when they were average players. They were good players.
Let's just say Souness's Liverpool team was a lot more successful than Gerrard's Liverpool team, wasn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I found that sing me when they were saying that Gerrard would get through tackles. It's obviously something you've never seen Graham Souness play. I mean, I remember his first game at Easter Road. I remember getting in that game. How I got in there. Remember the Charles de Gates? It was that many. And the Charles de Gates outside. I got underneath the gate and got into that game.
Do you know how I got in, Jim?
Right, I got in.
I got lifted door.
Did you?
Right. There's only one guy who's going to decide this argument, and I'm going to bring him in. D. Fox. He's got the cast to do it. Right, in we come with Fox. Give us it. In the pomp, as a player, who you taking, Gerrard or Souness?
Tough choice, but I would say Souness more than Gerrard. I thought Gerrard drove his team on, whereas Souness controlled the football and controlled the pace and the way Liverpool played back then. So I would just, if I was a manager, I would have Souness before Gerrard, mate.
Well, that's it decided. What the Fox says, go. That's a classic for Fox, or a Fox's classic. That means that we've
can I ask you a question there? What would have been the hardest international team to get into? England or Scotland?
Well,
for the two of them, I mean, there was no comparison, and yet Gerrard got over 100 caps. Souness didn't.
Souness didn't have longevity in international football. Remember, the first time you sort of saw Souness was the back end of the '78 World Cup, and then he'd retired in '86. He didn't have the longevity that Gerrard had in the international setup, did he?
No, but even when he was in his pomp, he never played with Scotland all their games.
50 odd, do you think? I've not looked at it. 50 odd, I'm going to say, caps, Souness.
I think he got about 55, 56, I think.
50 odd. Right, but listen, it doesn't matter what we say. Fox has said Souness. That's the end of the story, innit?
Why are you still on about who can he take this result? The result stands. Fox said it's Souness. And all the Souness fans said it was Souness. I want to be on a roll. That'll be 3 of 1 tonight.
Yeah, there's a ring that Stevie G. There's a ring Stevie G's trying to get on.
I still think Souness done a dirty on his back.
Well,
to be honest, boy, if you look at that Scotland time when Souness was playing, we had a midfield that was exceptional. I mean, you're talking about England or whatever, I'm not really worried about them, but when you're looking at even 77, 78 Scotland, it was an excellent midfield with York Mason and all that. I mean, Souness would have found it hard. MD would have found it hard to get in that midfield.
Rio Mason and Archie Gemmill, yeah?
Well, yeah, correct. And there was a couple others in about that time. When I watched them, and they were a team. They could have taken on MD, but we obviously never done the business. But at the end of the day, but they were exceptional football players in that time. Exceptional football players.
We were exceptional football players until we actually went away to the World Cup. Totally blew it all up, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that was a fabulous midfield. Fabulous midfield.
Souness has won just shaded it in points as a player. Judging on his first 2 years as manager, because we can't judge it any longer to make it fair on Stevie G. You're the chairman of a club. Who do you want, Souness or Gerrard? Gordon, you're the star again. You start, mate.
No, I would say definitely modern times Stevie G. Modern times Stevie G. I mean.
Oh, I'm going to go to Jim 115, who's just fell off his seat.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree with the big man here. I'm going to agree with him. Back in the day, it would have been Souness, and the new it would have been Gerrard.
All right, okay. Blue Star.
For me, would the two of them have the same resources?
Yes.
Stevie G all day long.
Yes. Alec.
I'd agree with that. Stevie G, I think he's had a lot more today than what Souness had today, with a lot less money. So he's a total rebuild. But by the way, can I just say as well, see the midfielders that Gerrard played with England, Scholes, Lampard, Beckham, they sell. I think that's a better midfield than that Souness had to play with.
I don't think so. But they done nothing. I mean, like
different errors.
If you think that Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, Scotland gave them the runabout at Wembley and beat them with
Scotland at that time, Ox, both Souness and Gerrard admitted afterwards that they let Ali McLeod down when they went to Argentina. That team were more than capable enough to get to at least semi-finals, even although the Furor before it was that we could win it. That Scotland team was exceptional. But when they went out there, they were all complaining about their facilities, their gear, and they weren't getting paid enough. And they all admitted that afterwards.
I heard, and I'm no one for spreading rumours. If you know, they were all getting notes from their wife that the Maryhill team suddenly turned up. Right. So who you gone for, Alex?
Stevie G.
All right, the Bridge.
Well, I must differ from all of the guys, apart from the ones that said Souness. I would go for Souness. His first 2 years at Ibrox, he was excellent. He won the league. We can't say any more than that. Cups, marvellous.
Well, Big Stevie, this was your subject. Have you enjoyed it?
Absolutely brilliant, mate. I've enjoyed the discussion. It's good to hear for the old school, and absolutely brilliant what they think. And
who would you take? Who would you take as manager?
It's got to be Stevie G.
Right, it doesn't really matter what we all say. Fox, who are you taking?
I'm going to be honest here and say Stevie G. And my reasons for that is Souness had the benefit of a big log of money, and we could compete with MD in Europe to buy any player. Stevie G's had to start for the very bottom and try and bring this club back up to where it once was. I think he's doing a terrific job, so Stevie G for me.
Right, well, we've reached that time of the evening, but before we go to Bridge, I just want to have a few words for Gordon. I reckon our first caller ever for New Zealand. Gordon, it's been a pleasure, mate.
Oh, it's been a pleasure for me. Like, I've been trying to get through a couple of times, but like I listened to you. I've been listening to the show for about 3 years. As I said to you, I said I was beginning to know you. I was beginning to know you at Dunberdine bus. I was coming past all the time, and I was very. No, it's about the Rangers, and that's what the Bridgeman says at the end of it. It's about the Rangers all over the world, and we are all over the world.
Thanks very much, mate. Listen, you're welcome to call in here anytime you've got any free time, mate. More than welcome.
No, I appreciate that. I'll tell you, I really do.
Gordon, see if you're running on again, give us a shout and I'll get you on, mate, right?
Thanks for that. I tell you what, there's one thing I want to say. There was a good friend of mine passed away with that COVID, Wally Burns. I don't know if you remember him, Govan boy. And when they done his funeral, we took him past Ibrox, you know what I mean? And it just gives me a soft spot in the heart, you know what I mean, like that. And if anybody knows wee Lee McDonald for the Sandbank, tell him I was asking for him.
All right, brilliant. Listen, Jim, did you get your letter for the Christmas night out?
Nah, I'm too young, mate.
All right, did you get your letter? No?
No, mate.
All right.
No, it's right then, no.
All right, sorry about that. Bridgeman.
Brilliant.
How about you, Bridge?
Well, what can I say? By the way, Gordon, marvellous to listen to you and talk to you, pal. It's just a pity you played for Shrewsbury. Just a pity. However, can I just say...
I was only there for 3 months.
It doesn't matter. I can understand why. I can understand why.
Yeah. You see,
Can I just say to all Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is please, in the forefront of our mind, keep it going for the Rangers. All the season ticket allocations all gone. Well done, the Rangers fans. Keep it going for the Rangers.
Can I thank all the callers? It's great to hear from all the callers. Jim had come in for the start. Obviously, Blue Star and Jim Away is new, fantastic. But a special shout out to Gordon for New Zealand, the Govan lad from New Zealand. Thank Alex for coming in and joining, and of course, Big Stevie and Bridge for putting the show together. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10. Well, Fox will be on the show. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Cheers, boys.
They come from all of Glasgow, they come from near and far. They come from every Highland glen, from here to Lochnagar. They sail from dear old Belfast to the bonny banks of Clyde. They gather round to Timeless Park and loudly sing with pride. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, now set your mind at rest. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. The boys in blue of Ibrox, the Scotland's very best. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, now set your mind at rest. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. The boys in blue of Ibrox, the Scotland's very best. There's Richie Shearer, Probin, John Craig McKinnon too. There's Baxter, Henderson, George McLean, they proudly wear the blue. There's Miller, Brandon, Wilson, what better could you want? Plus 70,000 Rangers fans that proudly sing this chant. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, I'll set your mind at rest. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. The boys in blue, the Ibrox, the Scotland's very best. Richie Shearer, Probin, John Craig McKinnon too. There's Baxter, Henderson, George McLean, they proudly wear the blue. There's Miller, Brandon, Wilson, what better could you want? Plus 70,000 Rangers fans that proudly sing the chant. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, I'll set your mind at rest. Oh yes,